Hello, this is Helen Martin from Mountain Lion Design, and in this tutorial what we're going to be looking at is how to enter in and edit the text and images that you want to go into your web pages by looking at the blocks elements out of the 7 elements that we have on our admin section in the content editor. So I'm just going to flip over to the front end of our demo website, and as you can see in the menu bar we've got an About Us page, which is what we're on, and this is at the moment completely blank. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be entering some text to this web page using our content editor. Okay, so let's go back to the content editor, and we're going to click on the blocks area, and we're going to have a look at the About block, which is the corresponding block to the web page that we want to enter our text into. So I'm going to click on that, and what we're faced with here is, as you would expect, is a completely blank text edit area, and if we press on the HTML link here, that is also blank. So back to the text editor mode, and it's time to put in a little bit of text, a little content. So I'm going to go over to Word, and here's some text, a couple of paragraphs and some headings that I prepared earlier. As you can see, there is no formatting at all on this text, which is a very good place to start with when you're entering in content to your content editor, because as I mentioned on the last tutorial, any formatting that is comes with Word, the HTML code that it produces can sometimes be a little bit haphazard. It can have some tags that some extraneous tags in there. So because Word is primarily it's a print orientated software rather than a web-based one. But it's the content editor, it's the text editor that most people are comfortable with, so we shouldn't have too many problems. So I'm just going to highlight the text, copy, and just simply paste that in. Just going to make a bit of a line break at the top so that my text on this website will look the way I want it to. So if we just, this is the text edit window, so if we just go over into the HTML view just for a second, just to recap a little bit on what we learnt in the HTML basics video, you can see that what we have is I'm just going to change that to a BR as a line break, because as I said, Word sometimes puts some of the text is a bit wrong, so some of the tags are a bit wrong. So we've got a line break at the top, we've got, and each of these are paragraphs. They're all in normal text. So we're going to just jump back into the text edit view, and we're going to start to format our content. So this first heading I'm going to make into a main heading. So if we go from the second button on the left, which is the formatting button, click there and choose header 1. That will make our text nice and large. This second piece of text I want to make into, that's going to be a slightly smaller heading. So back to the formatting button, header 2. And this heading here I want to be slightly smaller again, because the text here is the content is slightly less important, but I still want it to be a heading. And I'm going to make that header 3. Now these are the main 3 headings that you're ever going to really need to use in terms of formatting the text. So skipping over to HTML view just for a second, just want to show you that, like you would expect, the first heading has got an H1 tag. The second heading has got an H2 tag, and this heading that we were doing down here carries an H3 tag. So as you can see, the HTML is following the format that we learnt in the HTML basics tutorial. So popping back to the text edit window, we're now going to press save. Now it's a very important point to remember or to know that you should only press save while you're in the text edit view. If you do any edits in the HTML view, then it's important to click back over to the text edit view before pressing save. Otherwise, it creates some anomalies in the code area. So I'm going to press save, and then we're just going to jump over to our blank website page, and the way to call up the information that we've just input from the server, what we need to do to make that visible on the page is we need to refresh the browser window. On most browsers, that will be, whether that's Chrome or Safari or Internet Explorer, that will be something similar to a little recycle icon. So I'm just going to reload that page now, pressing my own little recycle button, and as you can see, the content that we've just input is visible on the page with a main heading, a secondary heading, and our heading 3 with the paragraph text in between. So looking very nice. Let's add some more content. So going back to our content editor interface again, what we're going to do is we're just very, very quickly going to add a little bit of bold text by pressing the B, and I'm going to make this second paragraph italic by pressing the I. Going over to HTML view just to check things out. This is the word that we made bold. As you can see, it's got a B tag either side of the word, and the paragraph that we've made italic has got an I tag after the paragraph tag and closes up with an I ending tag just before the ending paragraph tag. And back to our text edit view. Okay, lovely. So pressing save. Let's go back to our web page, refresh our browser, and as you can see, we have our bold word and our italic text. Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to show you how to add an image to your page. So, as we discussed earlier, going along the formatting toolbar at the top, and by the way, just a quick reminder that this toolbar is only available, it only works in the text edit mode. It doesn't work in the HTML mode, okay? So this is just purely a text editing facility. So this little icon here, as we discussed in the last video, that's your image insertion button. So what you do is you will put your cursor at the place where you want the image to appear. So in this case, what I'm doing is I'm putting, I don't know if you can see on the video, but I've got my cursor just at the beginning of the text of the first paragraph. Then I click on the Insert Image button, and I'm confronted with a few options, but the ones that we need to concentrate on now are Upload or Choose. Upload allows you to choose an image that you have locally on your computer that will be stored somewhere that you've chosen, like for example your Documents folder or your Pictures folder, and you'll follow the path to that, to the image, to find it and then upload it. So we're going to do that now. This other option here, Choose, is to choose images from our database that we've already uploaded previously. So for now we're going to choose a file there. So press Choose a File. Choose the pathway to where we've saved that file. In this case I've saved it here as demo pic. And open. Now then, a very, very important thing to remember is that the image that appears on your web page is going to appear the exact same size as the image as you have it saved. So if you have a very, very large image with 1,000 pixels or 600 pixels, it's going to, if it's 1,000 pixels, it's not going to fit on your page. But if it's 600 pixels, for example, it's going to take up the whole page. This picture is just 270 pixels wide, which is a nice size for a little illustrative image to illustrate our text. So the image that you choose, you have to pre-size the image at 72 dpi and the same size that you wish to appear on your web page before you upload it into your content editor. Okay, so if I place my cursor over the image and click, it brings up a dialog box. Now this will give us a couple of options. It gives us the option to put in a title, which is good for search engine optimization. To put in a link so that when the image is clicked, it will click through to another web page, for example. And it gives us the option to position that text. Now, because I put my cursor at the beginning of the paragraph, if I now come down to left, position the image left and click Save, what that does is it aligns my picture nicely to the left of this paragraph. I'm going to press Save, and I'm going to come over to my web page and refresh the window, the browser window, and there you see there's our image has appeared on the page. Now, as you can see, this isn't really, I haven't really got enough text here to wrap around the image very well. So I'm actually going to copy that text, and I'm going to extend it so I've got double the amount of text. Press save, and now the image appears within the paragraph. If I want to delete that picture, I click on the image again, and this time I can press delete. What that will do is that will delete it from the web page, but it won't delete it from your database of images. So that will still be there if you wanted to call on it again in the future. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cursor in the same place. No, in fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my cursor just in front of that secondary heading there, just to put the image in a different place. And again, click on my image insertion button. This time I'm going to choose a previously uploaded picture. So as we can see, there's the image that we uploaded just a second ago, and a whole bunch of other pictures that I've been doing stuff with earlier. So, but I think I would like to have this image on the page. Again, going to click it, position it left, and save. Then before going back to my web page, always make sure that you save anything that you've done up here before going and checking it on your web page. So there you go. There's another picture. This time the heading itself is to the right of the picture because that's where we just placed it. Okay? Going back to our text edit view, if I want to link this word, for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come along to this infinity symbol here, which will, if I press it, click Insert Link, I can add a web page or a different website. It can either be a link that goes to another page of my own website or to a completely different website altogether. So I'm going to type in mountain line design.co.uk. You can always copy this from your address bar if you wish as well. And I'm going to check this box here because I want this link to open in a new tab so that visitors aren't actually leaving my website, to view this other page. And I'm going to click Insert. And you can see immediately this gives the appearance of a linked text. I'm going to press Save. Once that's finished saving, come back, refresh my window, and as you can see, this is now a linked piece of text showing in a different colour, and when I click it, it opens a new tab and brings me to the Mountain Lion Design main website. Okay. Another feature that we've got is that we can change the alignment of text. So if I highlight this text here and I go to this second button from the right, I can click on that and I can choose a different type of alignment. So for example, I can center the text or I can justify it. So in this case we're going to justify it. Save and view, and as you can see, the text has now justified itself all the way to the either end of the web page area. Now it's worth noting that in this edit mode, things don't, although they're what you see is what you get, they don't always completely, they're not always completely displaying exactly as you're going to see on your web page. So for example, this text here is not aligned, aligned exactly the way that it appears on your web page, but that's perfectly normal because it's a different shape space that you're dealing with. Another thing that you can do if you want to separate certain areas of content, so for example if I get a gap here, put my cursor in the middle, and this very last item here, this button here, will add a horizontal line. Sometimes useful. Click Save. Over to our window. Scroll down the page, and as you can see, I've got a nice line here. Back to our editor. There are other elements along here. For example, if I want to make these items here, I can make a list, a numbered list. I can indent the text. I can insert a video. If I click on this, at any place on the web page I want to insert a video, what I would have to do is get the embed code from YouTube or Vimeo or whatever your chosen video user interface is, and click in here, paste in the code and insert. You can insert a table. That's a little bit more complicated, and I wouldn't advise it particularly unless you want to experiment. That's fine, but you know, mostly you won't really need to use tables. This button here is very useful. So for example, if I want my second heading here, my smaller heading, my heading 2, to be a different font colour, I can choose my font colour here. Click Save. Jump over to my web page, and there you go. There's the heading in a lovely colour. Again, you can do the background colour, but that personally I don't think that ever looks good. So that's more or less everything. One last thing that I wanted to point out was this Embed Code button down here. Now this is going to be completely irrelevant to yourselves because it's a developer resource, and the same with this drop down menu here, so you can just completely ignore those. And the other thing that I wanted to just very quickly point out is if anything does start to look a little bit untoward on your web page when you've copied and pasted, or when you've pressed enter to make a line a line break rather than putting BR in the HTML code, if things do start to not be formatting the way that you were hoping, your best bet is to go back to the HTML and make sure that there haven't been some extra line breaks or other formatting that that's been carried over from, for example, Word, that is making things look different to what you're intending. So always remember that the HTML code is really the basic language for the editing. This, what you see is what you get. Text editor window area is for convenience, and most of the time everything will be go smoothly through copying and pasting and editing in here. But you can always jump over to the HTML and look at the videos and the other resources for websites that I've added into the knowledge base of both the mountain line design and web design therapy websites, the HTML resources to help you find your way around that if necessary. So that concludes this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one.